Hello and welcome back. I'm Joseph Hoffman, and in this lesson, we're going to learn how to play a very common form used in jazz called 12-bar blues. 12-bar blues is a kind of tradition in popular music that has been around for over 100 years. In a nutshell, 12-bar blues is a 12-measure long, repeating chord progression that appears literally in hundreds, if not probably thousands of popular songs in the genres of blues, jazz, or rock. It's also used as a form for improvising. Today, we'll explore some ways you can play the 12-bar blues so you can join in this rich musical tradition. Let's come to the piano to get started. You may recall that a bar is simply another name for measure. A bar and measure, two words that mean the same thing. So when we talk about 12-bar blues, we're talking about 12 measures with a set chord progression pattern, which you can see right here on your screen. Let's look at these 4 measures at a time. In the first 4 measures of 12-bar blues, we have only the 1 chord. And let's use the key of D for our 12-bar blues today. So we'll be using the D blues. All right, so with your left hand, go ahead and let's find a 1 chord. And we'll just use an open 5th for right now. Okay, kind of this power chord. So try that with me, and let's just make each bar 4 beats. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. What chord do you see next? That's right, now we have a 4 chord, so we count up 1, 2, 3, 4. In the key of D, the 4 chord would be a G chord. Again, let's just use an open 5th, G chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back to a 1 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then what do we get? A 5 chord, so find that on your piano, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can be here an A chord, a 1, 2, 3, 4, then to a 4 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, then back to the 1 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that repeats over and over again throughout the improvisation or song, whatever, however you're using the 12-bar blues. Okay, let's try this together now without stopping. I'd like you to count out loud and just play these power chords. All right, here we go. A 1, 2, 3, 4. A 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A 1, 2, 3, 4. A 1, 2, 3, 4. A 1, 2, 4 chord. A 1, 2, 3, back to the 1 chord. 2, 3, 4. A 1, 2, 3, up to the 5 chord. 3, 4, the 4 chord. 2, 3, 4, the 1 chord. 2, 3, 4, the 1 chord. 2, 3, 4. Good. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, I have a challenge for you. That's to pause the video and try doing just these very simple whole note chords in your left hand while you improvise a little right hand melody. Okay, I was just messing around, making that up as I went. I'm no jazz expert, but you can just mess around in the D blues scale and play these power chords using the 12-bar blues, and hey, it sounds pretty exciting and fun. So pause the video and try out this 12-bar blues pattern in your left hand while your right hand is just, again, if you're feeling uncomfortable, just stick with 2 or 3 notes and see what you can do, and then press play. I'll show you some other patterns you can do with your left hand. Now, in jazz and blues, a lot of different left-hand patterns have been used over the many decades, the many years of jazz. Okay, this is one of them where you just take that open fifth and you alternate it with a sixth. Back and forth. You keep that bottom note, that root of the chord the same. So you can have one chord, the one chord, the one chord, the one chord, then up to the four chord, the four chord, back to the one chord, the one chord, now to the five chord. Notice I had to use that F sharp there. Why? Because we're in the key of D. So if I did it, that doesn't quite sound right, huh? We need that F sharp to back to the one chord. Okay? So that's one option. Pause the video and give that option a try. Don't worry about adding in a right-hand part unless you really want to challenge yourself. But the first time, you're probably just going to play through that left-hand accompaniment. Remember, you can always find a friend to improvise and jam with you playing the melody part while you do the accompaniment. Eventually you'll be able to do that hands together, no problem. But, at first maybe you want to just focus on the chords while someone else is improvising that melody. Okay, pause the video and try this accompaniment pattern, then press play, and I'll show you a few other options too. Here's the pattern that I used in our improvisation from our previous lesson on D blues. I go D, then up the octave, then I come down a whole step, and then down this third here. So up an octave, down a second, down a third, then back down to D. See, that makes a really cool sounding bass line. So that's my one chord. Then what would I do for the four chord? I'd take that same pattern and transpose it up to G. G, down a step, down a third. And notice here I'm using an F natural. The blues sometimes plays that border between major and minor. Okay, so sometimes we'll want the F sharp, sometimes we'll want the F natural. Okay, that's part of this style is you can't always tell if you're in major or minor. It's kind of its own thing, huh? Then here's the five chord. We just do A, G, E, then G, G, F, D. Okay, so that would be one simple pattern. But that's a little bit more interesting maybe than just doing like those plain power chords, okay? So now pause the video and try out that pattern. And I'll notate these patterns for you on the handout or the worksheet that you can download from our website. Check that out for a few minutes on your own and then press play to go on. A few other options that I want to show you. Again, you can, if you can't pick it up just from watching me, I'll notate it for you on the worksheet that you can download from our website. Here's another pattern that you can transpose to the 1, the 4, or the 5. It's just you repeat that chord and then F, F sharp. That's kind of a fun pattern. Now, if you really want to challenge yourself, this is called a boogie woogie pattern, which also works great with the blues scale. You go up an octave, then F, G, G sharp, A. Notice how that's right from the D blues scale, right? That's pretty wild. Okay, now, again, don't stress about learning that. These are just some options to try out if you want. I'll put all of these on the worksheet and you can experiment with these. Again, while you are playing an accompaniment, someone else could be improvising a melody using the D blues scale, of course. So I really encourage you to try and find a duet, or I should say a jam partner, someone that you can jam with to experiment with the 12-bar blues, with the blues scale, and just having fun improvising. You can take turns, one of you playing accompaniment, one of you improvising the melody, and then trade off. And that's part of the fun of learning to jam, making music with other people. Great job learning how to play the 12-bar blues today. I hope you have lots of fun jamming and improvising with the blues. Thanks for watching, and happy jamming! Today we're having a party just for you because you finished Unit 12. You did it! Just think, when you first started back in Unit 1, maybe you didn't know anything about piano, but now you can read music and compose. You know about chords and scales. I have scales. Are you sure it's not supposed to be feathers? Psh, ridiculous. And you can play by ear. Not that kind of playing by ear. I know. You can improvise. And you know your rhythms. Shoo. Woo, woo. And you know your solfege and major and minor and your ladder of fifths and fourths and your clefs and your time signatures and key signatures. And man, that's a lot. You can play dozens of amazing piano pieces. And that's why we're all here to celebrate your amazing piano awesomeness. You've worked hard and learned a lot, and we hope you'll always keep playing and learning. Congratulations on completing Unit 12! Hooray! Who invited Shark? He'll be good, I asked him. Okay. Yay!